Hey guys, this is Frozen Peak Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today I'll be doing my long-awaited review on Scream 6. So Scream 6 came out this year in 2023 and is the sixth and latest installment in the Scream franchise, directed by Matt Bettinelli, Olpin, and Tyler Gillett, the same directors as Scream 5 and their directorial debut, Ready or Not. And it stars Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, Mason Gooding, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Panettiere, I don't pronounce her name, Courtney Cox, Lee Cox, Jack Champion, Dermot Mulroney, Liana Libretto, Devin Nakoda, and special cameos from Tony Revolori and Samara Weaving. Oh yeah, also forgot Dermot Mulroney and Josh Segar. Yeah, you can tell I'm reading the cast online because a lot of their names I don't know how to pronounce. Basically, Scream 6 tells a story taking place a year after the after Scream 5, where all the characters we knew are now in New York City. They left Woodsboro after the murders, thinking that they'll be safe in New York since it's a big city, and they think that they won't be attacked by Ghostface. But unfortunately, Ghostface returns. Yeah, Sam Carpenter, you probably know her as the daughter Billy Loomis, is being cancelled on the internet because they think that Richie Kershaw deserves a justice, um, and Sam is the real killer since she's a daughter. Everyone thinks that Sam is the real Ghostface who started all the kills in Scream 5 and just framed Richie and Amber for it. And yeah, so Ghostface returns once again to New York City, this time with a new motive, and it's up to the characters to once again find out who's behind the mask and stop him. Yeah, so this is pretty much a more whodunit that's ever been. As there's a lot of investigations. Since Ghostface would usually use the mask from the past killers with the with the master killer's DNA would leave it everywhere. And yeah, that's basically the plot. So Scream 6, yeah. I have never been more hyped for a Scream movie than this. Yeah, I literally wouldn't shut up about this film on Instagram, and honestly, I don't think I'll still ever shut up about this film because yeah, Scream 6 isn't like the trailers absolutely blew me away. Yeah, and I absolutely love the idea of setting this in a big city because setting this in a big city because um it makes the stakes a lot bigger, and as the cops will have a hard time finding them. Well, actually, technically, the cops did have an easy time since two of the cops are among the main characters. So, but it still raises the stakes higher because it puts the characters in even more danger than they already are. But yes, and I love the trailers, and yes, sure. I remember when they said that the city president was not returning, I got a little bit worried about this film, thinking that wasn't gonna live up to the other Scream movies, especially Scream 5, which was my favorite Scream movie. And yes, by the way, I'm putting the Scream 5 link to my review down below. I forgot to share as community post before seeing Scream 6, so I'll remind. So if you haven't seen my Scream 5 review and you're curious to see my full thoughts on Scream 5, link it down below. But yeah, Sydney is the face of Scream. We all know that. So taking away Sydney in this, I was worried about how they were going to handle this movie without Sydney. And yeah, but when I watched Wednesday, I remember seeing Jenna Ortega in Wednesday, and after that, seeing how much I was absolutely blown away by Jenna Ortega's performance in that show. I was like thinking, you know what? Maybe if I started becoming a Jenna Ortega super fan, I started becoming a little more excited knowing that at least we got the same characters from Scream 5. We got Tara Carpenter returning, and usually with the past movies, there will only be like three of the same characters, which is Sam, Gale, and Dewey. No. Sydney, Gale, and Dewey. My bad. Why did I say Sam? And then we got a bunch of new characters. This one we got four of the main characters, which they call the core four, and then you got two legacy characters, Gale Kirby. So there's a lot more character returning characters in this one, but there's still a couple of new characters as well. And yeah, so I got a little more hype. I trusted this movie that they were going to handle it well outstanding, considering that Jenna Ortega become to be the face of Scream. And rewatching Scream 5, I was like, back in October, I was like, yeah, actually, Tara's the best character in the movie. I think Tara can actually carry the new installments in the franchise. So yeah, and it got really good reviews. It got really positive reviews. People say it's one of the best in the franchise. I was hoping that this would actually dethrone Scream 5 as the best in the franchise. And after seeing Scream 6 in theaters, I gotta say, oh my gosh, I was absolutely blown away. Yeah, um, Paramount and all the casting crew and the directors who made this, you freaking blew me away. Scream 6 was absolutely perfect. And saying this is everything I wanted this to be and more is an understatement. This movie is just, it is a masterpiece, and this is by far and away the best Scream movie. No other Scream movies come close. This makes Scream 1 look like a terrible movie in comparison. Even though I love Scream 1, but Scream 6 is pretty much the face of the Scream film. So like I love this new trilogy even more than the original, and I can't believe I'm saying this because usually you can't have the new characters replicate the old character, the legacy characters be as good, but this one they literally made it. They managed to make the new characters actually even better than the original ones. Yeah, this is just like perfection, and I don't know where to start from this. There's just so many things to praise about this film. Well, let's start off with the opening scene. Usually, everyone knows that Scream would have these iconic openers. That would probably be considered as a standout. I mean, Scream 1 opening scene was the best scene. Scream 2 opening scene was the best scene. Scream 3 opening scene was the best scene. Scream 4, not really. Scream 5, well, Scream 5 had one of my favorite openings, but I think there were better scenes in Scream 5 than that. Like the hospital scene and the scene when Amber just shoots Liv and says, like, welcome to Act 3, and then just shoots people like randomly, like, um, yeah, but this is the best opening scene in the entire franchise by far. Yeah, by the way, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll spoil the movie at one point, but no, don't click away from this video. I'll probably give away a few teeny bit of spoilers at the end, so please continue to stick around until the spoiler part. If you don't want to get spoiled. But yeah, anyway, where was I? Yeah, the opening scene is the best scene in the entire film. No, it's not the best scene in the entire film, but it is the best opening scene in the franchise. First of all, you got Samara Weaving, and the guy who played Flash from this MCU Spider-Man films. Samara Weaving's character is the best opener in the entire franchise. Literally, she literally steals the opening amongst all the others, and she literally makes my top 10 favorite characters of all those Scream characters of all time. Yes, I'm going that far, and even with 5 minutes of screen time, I think she is Samara Weaving's best performance in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, first of all, she's hot. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of hot characters in this franchise, and this one is absolutely no exception. Um, and what they did with the opening, the creative decision is absolutely brilliant, and this movie really continues to be brilliant throughout the. Yeah, I mean, the opening scene is just really sets up how brilliant this movie will be. And yes, that's the best way to describe this movie. It's genius. This movie is genius. Like so many genius decisions that are made in this movie. Like so many that really blew me away. And I mean, I don't know what else to say about the opening without spoiling anything. But yeah, the opening scene, like fantastic, and it doesn't go downhill from here. In fact, it gets better. One of my favorite aspects of Scream 6 is the relationship between Sam and Tara. I mean, this, rewatching Scream 5 yesterday and watching this movie, I actually love Sam more now, and I'll go as far as saying Sam is my second favorite character. Everyone knows who my favorite character is. I'll talk about this character shortly, but Sam is pretty much the face of the Scream films, and yeah, I actually forgot like I love Sam even more now. I think Sam is literally Sydney but better. Yeah, and I wonder if Sam will ever be a killer at some point, but I doubt it because she'll probably be the protagonist, and you'd feel bad for Sam throughout the film because Sam's been canceled online. Everyone thinks that she's Ghostface, and no one likes her except for like the more major characters. She has a boyfriend now, which that boyfriend, I will say he is the weakest aspect. He is the weakest aspect of this film, but he's still really good, and I can't wait to see more from him. I predict he'll die in like Scream 7 or something. Yeah, I do have my predictions for Scream 7 by idea, but I'll make that a separate video. I got a lot to say. Yeah, Josh. No, no, where was I? But yeah, Sam. You see Sam in therapy, like that was her first year, and you can clearly feel what she's trying to tell him, like telling him that she's Billy Loomis's daughter, which is why everyone thinks that Sam is the killer. But yeah, this yeah, I love Sam's arc with this and and with this and the previous Scream 5. I think Sam is one of the best written characters in this franchise. And Melissa Barrera is such an underrated actress. I mean, she was in The Heights, and she was the best part of this film. But Scream is her best. Like Sam Carpenter from Scream is her best role. Period. And then of course the best character in the entire film, Tara Carpenter. Yeah, I love Tara Carpenter so much. First of all, yeah, I'm a massive Jen Ortega fanboy, and like especially after seeing Wednesday, it really elevated my love for Jen Ortega. But this one, I like Jen Ortega is now my second favorite actress of all time, second only behind well obviously Sadie Sink, and I mean I love everything about Tyra. She's a perfect character, and I love that I love that she actually got a more major character because in the first film I think she had a little less screen time than I thought, but at the same time I understand why because she was attacked by Ghostface in Scream 5. But this one, yeah, she managed to have a bigger role and a bigger arc. Her arc is basically, she wants to feel like a grown up. She wants to be treated like a grown up since she's in college now. But Sam is always trying to look after Tara, but they both like get into a fight. But even if they both get into arguments and misunderstanding, they both really have each other's backs, and you can clearly see their perfect character arc throughout the entire movie. And man, Jenna Ortega does it again. I mean, if you think her performance as Wednesday is amazing enough, well, this one I think this is her best performance. Yes, even over Wednesday, and I never thought I would actually admit that. Yeah. Yeah, Jenna Ortega really has gotten such a long way. She was in the Disney Channel shows like she was in that god awful Bizarre Varg, and one of my least favorite Disney Channel shows ever. But Jenna Ortega is probably the only thing I like about Bizarre Varg, and I'm gonna check out more Jenna Ortega stuff. So I might check out this film for the first time called The Fallout, which is another Jenna Ortega led film. Yeah, she's amazing, and I love everything about Jenna. And this one pretty much solidifies my love for her. And Tara is just it's just a super well written character. You really connect with her. Even oh yeah, speaking of relatability, even Sam, she's very relatable in this movie. Like you probably know how my haters will just constantly just keep making posts about me, like telling me like I'm the villain. I'm the real enemy. I'm actually the bad guy. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the same treatment Sam gets, and I can really feel myself in Sam, and I absolutely love that arc. And of course, you got Chad and Mindy. Among the two, I personally the two twins. I personally prefer Chad. I mean, Chad and Tara's romance was surprising. Like because in Scream 5, they were just Chad hasn't had his own girlfriend. Tara was a lesbian, I think. I'm not sure if she banged Amber or not, but like I didn't think Chad and Tara would be a thing. And their romance is surprise. It's probably their romance is probably the thing I was not really expecting most about this film, or at least one of them. It's kind of like Peter Parker and MJ, where Peter Parker had a different girlfriend and MJ was just there interacting with Peter, but we didn't really expect them to have a relationship until like the second film. That's exactly what Chad and Tara is like, and I think Chad and Tara are such an underrated couple. Like yeah, they're such an underrated couple. We need to see more of them. Thank God the Chad is. Well, I don't want to spoil anything. like I almost did. I'll say that for later. And then there is Kirby. Like and we're talking about the legacy characters now. Kirby is absolutely lives up to the hype. Out of all the legacy characters, Kirby is my favorite of them all. I think she was handled the best, and how they explained how Kirby was still alive when she was stabbed in Scream 4, I think it was completely justified. In fact, a lot of questions that people may ask about Scream 6 is completely justified. Like, people will probably ask, why is Sidney not in this film? Gail Weathers explained to Sam and Tara why Sidney isn't returning, and I just want to say right now, I think that's a perfect way of that's a perfect way of justifying a legacy character's absence. I think they did it perfectly, and Gail says that pretty much Sydney had already has her happy ending, and I think I would totally be fine if Sydney doesn't return. If Sydney doesn't return in Scream 7, I'll be fine, but I don't know what they're gonna do with it because Gail said that Sydney already had her conclusion arc. I will explain it. You just watch the movie first, so maybe I'll explain it later in my spoiler stuff later on. But yeah, and then we got the three killers. I will not say who they are, but yeah, but there's three killers now, which pretty much sets the bar higher for the Scream franchise since there's a lot more Ghostface now. I will say that two of them I guessed correctly. One of them I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Even though, well, I want to get into spoilers, but I will say they're well executed despite being predictable, despite not that seeing it coming. Well, actually, one of them in particular, I was actually, you know what? Only one out of the three I knew was coming, but the other two I was like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna be Ghostface. And then they were Ghostface. I mean, well, I like the three Ghostface overall. I think that the two, now I do think they were a step up from Amber. I still think Amber is the best. Amber is still my favorite Ghostface killer, but yeah, it's not far behind. Well, I mean, yeah, there. I definitely do have a definitive ranking on each of the if each of the Ghostface killers in this one. But I will tell you the spoilers. But I will say yeah, the best one is a female. And the best one's a girl. Yeah, and the others are boys. So that's all I'll say. That's all I say. Two boys, one girl. That's the only thing. That's the only hint I will give about the killers. Until the spoiler section, but we're like I'll only drop like a tad bit of spoilers. And now yeah, but if all of those aspects isn't like great enough. Oh yeah, also Gail. I need to talk about Gail as well. Yeah, sure, Gail got a lot less screen time than this, but I understand because Gail isn't really Gail, it's not really Gail's story anymore. It's Sam and Tara's story. So, I understand why they sidelined Gail. But Gail is still done well. I think this is Gail at her best, in my opinion. I mean, she literally gets the Ghostface phone call for the first time, and she gets the Ghostface encounter for the first time. She gets attacked by Ghostface for the first time. Like, even with limited screen time, there's still something new to learn about something new that happens to Gail. In fact, this franchise feels new and this movie feels new and different from everything else in the franchise, which makes it so unique and different. But now we get into the highlight of the movie, probably the best aspect of the entire film: the kills, the scares slash or horror, and the gore. Like, oh my goodness, like people were right. Like this is the scariest, the bloodiest, like most brutal kills in the entire franchise. In fact, I actually already knew that it was gonna be like that, but my gosh, like the gore in this movie, like I hope you guys can actually handle gore because I know some people can't really handle gore, but to me, I can handle gore. This is the most gory movie I've ever seen since Terrifier. And yes, by the way, I have seen Terrifier 1, but I have yet to see Terrifier 2. I heard Terrifier 2 is bears. But yeah, the kills in this movie are absolutely brutal, and they really like leave you like I don't know how you say it, like mouth open. Like I forgot what you call it. I don't know, I'm so stupid. But uh, like speechless, with your mouth jaw drop. Yeah, that's what it's called, jaw dropping. And yeah, Ghostface is probably at his most evil yet. You can clearly see why Ghostface is you can see why Ghostface is really savage, and they really wanted to raise the stakes higher. And the setting of New York really does it because Ghostface can be anywhere. Yeah, Ghostface is in can be in the streets. He can come into houses. He can come into apartments. He can literally go anywhere. And of course, having three Ghostfaces is absolutely necessary because it's a big city. So having like one or two Ghostface, it'll be a bit difficult for Ghostface to actually reach them. So more Ghostfaces definitely are needed. And yeah and my god, yeah. This movie literally, the action in this movie, like the kills, and it feels non-stop. Yeah, Ghostface gives has the most appearances, and yeah, you really do not want to mess with Ghostface because oh man, yeah, and even the death scenes, man, they are so brutal. Like you know yeah, one so a certain character death like literally this one character, not really a spoiler, but one character literally hits the head, and you can clearly see the effect in the face, and my god, it is absolutely gory. People get stabbed like on the eye, and my god, it was so gory. Like I mean, could I was I able to handle it? Yes, I was definitely able to handle the gore here, but yeah, it still left me jaw dropping. And yeah, this movie literally is probably the most fun I had watching a Scream film. Never a boring scene, never a dull moment. Like almost every single part in this movie is just Ghostface chasing around and people investigating and no filler. Even Sam and Tara's relationship in the beginning is not a filler. And Sam and Tara's relationship is still one of the highlights, but to me the kills are the best highlight. The kills in Ghostface are the best things about the film. And this pretty much has the best climax, yeah, and also the best score. I mean, wow, I mean the score in this film is just absolutely amazing. And I oh yeah, also let's talk about the meta commentary because of course every Scream movie would have it's not a Scream movie without the use of meta, and this movie does go full on meta. I'm not sure if I would say this has the best meta because Scream best meta commentary, but it continues the trend of the toxic fandom, the toxic fandom trend, and they still explain the rules of the horror movie. This time, with the modern stuff to it, like they even mentioned Letterboxd. Yeah, as in like the Letterboxd app, and yeah, also it does have a meta commentary on cancel culture. Like people would go over their phones and cancel Sam. Yes, this movie does tackle cancel culture as well. Canceling pretty much the daughter Billy Loomis, who's actually a hero, but everyone sees her as Ghostface. So yeah. So overall, Scream 6 is an absolute masterpiece. It's perfect. It's the best Scream movie. It's the best movie of the year so far. In fact, I argue this movie has potential to actually be the best movie of the year in general. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is got needs a lot, and I mean a lot, to be able to dethrone this movie as the best movie of the year. I'd be okay if it doesn't. I won't be surprised if it tops it. I won't be surprised if it doesn't. But yeah, Scream 6 is just truly special. It's actually one of my new favorite movies of all time. Yeah, right up there with Frozen 2, Avatar: Way of Water, and No Time to Die as one of my favorite movies of all time. And yeah, and yeah, this movie is just perfection. And this movie made me feel like a true horror fan. Yeah, this movie made me a horror fanboy. Yes, it's already one of my favorite genres of all time. And yeah, yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna give Scream 6 an infinity out of 10. Okay, guys. Now I'm gonna be getting into spoiler territory. So, for those who don't want to hear the spoiler part, yeah, you can leave a video. Be sure to come back to hear about this, what I have to say about the spoilers. When you come back, don't worry, it won't take up too much time. I only have a few things to say about spoilers. And yeah, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know your opinion on Scream 6, and be sure to watch it if you haven't. Okay, guys, now let's get into spoilers in 3, 2, 1, go. First of all, I want to talk about the killers and their motivations. The three killers, yes. The main killer is Detective Bailey, and then the two ones are Quinn Bailey and Jack Ethan Bailey. And they're pretty much like a family of Baileys who, I mean, they're not really Baileys. I think they're Kirsch, they're pretty much like the relatives of Richie Kirsch, and they want to get revenge on them. I've heard people say that they don't like the villains because it's just a rehash of Scream 2, but personally, to me, I think it's fine. Yeah, sure, it is similar to Scream 2. The detective is very similar to Mrs. Loomis, but I think there's a reason why they copied Scream 2, and I think it was very well executed. In fact, I'd say they're better than the Scream 2 killers. I would say Ethan and the detective and Ethan are a step down from some of the other killers Billy and Stu, the OGs. And I think that all of them are a step down from Amber Freeman. Like I think I said that already in my non-spoiler territory. My favorite of them all has to be um, okay, I'm lost for words. But Quinn Bailey, yeah. Quinn's my favorite. Yeah, sure, yeah. Maybe I'm biased because the other two are male and Quinn is a female. Maybe I might be biased, call me that, but I don't care. I love her craziness. And I think she's probably the one that I did not expect the most because you saw Quinn being killed off in the apartment scene, and then only for her to literally become the killer or one of the killers. That is brilliant right there. Yeah, Quinn was actually one of my killers like for a long time, but when she's dead, I was like, okay, yeah, she's not my killer list anymore. If I were to rank all of them, I'd say Quinn, Detective, Detective Bailey, and Ethan Bailey is the weakest because I did see it coming, but at the same time, it's well executed. I say Ethan is probably the scariest of the villains. There was one scene where Sam and Tyra were just talking, we're just sitting down quietly, and then literally Ethan just comes in runs into them, and then like I mean yeah sure I saw it coming because every Scream movie there will always be like one of the killers who will just like run into the main characters, and then a background character would a major character in the background will kill that person, but it still scared me. Like wow, that was really scary, and yeah, I kind of figured that that Jack Champion was capable of playing a villain role because he did play a song of a villain in Avatar Way of Water. Yes, he was Avatar Way of Water Spider. I thought he was gonna be a villain in the movie, like he was gonna betray everyone and join the villain side. Thank God he didn't though in that movie. And yeah, let's talk about Kirby. Yes, for the longest time, Kirby was pretty much my top candidate to be the Scream killer, the new killer. And literally right before the third act, like the reveal, they said that they found out that Kirby was actually fired, and she's just a cop in disguise, and to used to set up the others. Yeah, Kirby was supposedly going to be the killer, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this happening? Is Kirby actually going to be the killer? No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't a killer. It was false, and of course, Detective Billy was lying just to cover up the fact that he was a killer. But I would have been down to see Kirby as the killer. If Kirby was the killer, she would have automatically been my favorite killer, easily. Um, and of course, well, the last and now I want to talk about Gale because I'm worried about how a certain type of people, how certain people would react to Gale. I'm sure you remember the infamous apartment scene where Ghostface attacks Gale. He like stabs Gale like really hard so many times, and then Gale lays down like when Sam Sam and Tara come in. Gale quote unquote dies, but I know some people might think that she's dead. If you don't listen to dialogue and you think she's dead, then it's technically your fault and it's technically your problem. But Gail is not dead. Not Gail is not dead at all. She's actually alive. The thing is that we don't actually see Gail recovering in the end, but we have Scream 7, so Scream 7 will definitely show us that Gail is still alive. I'm sure Scream 7 will start with. Yeah, that's pretty much one hint of my Scream 7 predictions video that Gale is going to be a record. It's going to start off well. Of course, it's gonna have that infamous opening kill scene, and then after that will be Gale no surviving, and of course let's talk about Sydney Prescott's um thing, like what Gale was saying. So basically, as an explanation, Sydney just didn't want to be away. Sydney's like basically Sydney was like, okay, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing any more Scream movies. I don't wanna be part of Ghostface. I want to stay away. I want to like stay with my family. Like I have a happy ending now. I don't want to be attacked. I don't want to die. That's really good because all we want is Sydney to be safe. And yeah, we want Sydney to be safe and sound, and she definitely deserves a happy ending. I think her character already wrapped up perfectly. If Sydney returns to Scream 7, I'll be okay, but I wonder how they're gonna handle it. If Sydney already got her happy ending, yeah, but I'm okay with the legacy characters, not returning. If they kill off Gale, I don't know. I don't know about that because but well, I think I'll be fine because, but the important thing is we have the core for the new characters, especially Tara and Sam, because to me, Tara and Sam are the new faces of Scream, and I say they're both my favorite Scream characters in general. Alright, that's all for my spoiler talk. That's all for my overall review of Scream 6. So yeah, who agrees with me that Scream 6 is the best Scream movie ever made, and one of the best movies of all time? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my Scream franchise ranking. So yeah, bye guys.